And remember that a lot of times when I do these readings, I'll talk about the energies that are present, and I'll say you, but it could also be your partner who's experiencing the energies. And I'm just picking up on them as they interconnect to you. But it's a general reading, and I do 12 videos, so I can't go into each and every perspective. Okay, here we go. The Wheel, 9 of Autumn, the Release card. Wow, 2 major arcana energies and the Chariot under the deck. So it's funny, Aries just had 2 major arcana cards in the same position, different cards, of course, but I'll show you the cards that I see in Taurus. We have the Wheel, we have the 9 of Autumn, and then we have the Release card. So very, very powerful energies around change, around letting go. And with that Wheel card right next to the 9 of Autumn, the Wheel is about, forward momentum, things changing rapidly, but because it's ruled by Jupiter, which is a very expansive planet, it is right next to the 9 of Autumn, which is a lovely card, especially for you, Taurus, of luxury, of being abundant, but often being alone, cherishing your time alone, being happily and successfully self-employed, that kind of energy. So with the Wheel right next to it, you may feel a tremendous sense of contentment with your current position in love, a desire to kind of reward yourself, to pamper yourself, that kind of energy. But it does look like it's leading you towards this big release. I say big because it's major arcana energy, but you may experience it to a lesser degree than some, everyone's going to experience it to lesser degrees and greater degrees. But the text of that card says, let go of the past, an ending that makes way for new opportunities and time to move on. But let me get some additional cards from the Romance Angels, and we will do the whole reading for you, Taurus. Here we go. Romantic feelings, children, playfulness. Okay. And trust under the deck. All right. So right away, I did kind of get this idea of it's a very youthful kind of energy. I think it's with the children, the playfulness right next to each other. It's about, again, that 9 of Autumn energy, kind of rewarding yourself, being luxurious, pampering, playing in a way that makes you feel sensual, getting massages, pedicures, manicures, facials, getting your hair done. Same, if you are male and maybe you don't get manicures and pedicures, it's about worshiping your body, honoring your body, manscaping, if that feels good to you. Whatever ways that feels good to you. Whatever ways that you feel abundant on the material plane. But it's not necessarily about being with another necessarily. If you are athletic, maybe you want to go out and just be athletic like a child, play like a child, not like hit the gym for a result, but just to do some kind of sport where you're just, being joyful. I'm thinking of that Friends episode where Phoebe is running and she's running like a child, like how embarrassing that is for, I think it was Rachel who was running with her, but it's just like that kind of energy, like just being free and fun with your body. And we have the romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Children, your love life is being affected by children. And playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So there may be, for some of you, that you have children during this time period, and they are kind of a focus for you. And maybe that's why you're not possibly spending a lot of time with your partner, and you're kind of more focused on what makes you feel good as opposed to your romantic partner. It could be that you're gearing up for something, because with this Release card, in order to make way for something new, like the Wheel is coming in here. The Wheel's like, okay, let's get things moving. Let's get you more centered on you. And then as you kind of reconnect with who you really are, who you are at your sort of most abundant self, it causes you to let go of things that just don't really work in that kind of vibrational field anymore. And so you are ready for a new beginning. So with the Wheel and the Release card together, it's kind of like, the universe is kind of like, yes, let's move forward. And then in order to move forward, we have to let go of certain things that just aren't really part of our future sort of agenda or future life. So for some of you, that would make sense. Like maybe you have children who recently went off to college and now you're kind of regrouping and being like, okay, this is what my life looks like now. I think now I can reconnect with my spouse after I've reconnected with myself, or I can reconnect with others in a way, and after I have this period of playfulness. So it's going to be different for everybody. And if you're single, it could just be that you have children on your mind during this time period as well. Or possibly you or your partner, or crush, or someone who's interested in you romantically may have children. And that's kind of what they're dealing with. But with those romantic feelings, regardless of whether they're directed to someone else or just the romantic feelings that you're having, in terms of, not romance in terms of necessarily connecting to a partner, but those romantic feelings of like looking at love in a very kind of sweet way, looking at love in a sort of a pure way, not like nasty talk, and that kind of talk might hit you as being very kind of aggressive. And if you're around, even if you're a male and you're around your buddies and they're kind of engaging and talking about sex or women in a certain way, or even reverse, women do the same thing, talking about men in a way that's sort of objectifying and like, oh, I just want to get laid, or that kind of energy. I think for you during this time period, it may feel like, oh, that's not really resonating with who I am, because right now I'm feeling more sort of romantic. I want to be treated romantically. I want to treat myself romantically, abundantly, as as the beautiful human being I am, and not someone who's just necessarily wanting to be engaged in that kind of rougher kind of languaging, I'll say, around the idea of romance. Wow, it's a big message just came in there for you. Get one more card from the Tarot of Sexual Magic for you, Taurus. And then I'll get some additional cards on this release in the wheel. Three of Pentacles. Very, very nice connection here. And with the Three of Pentacles, I kind of feel like it's like you're wanting, I love that it's Pentacles because the Nine of Autumn is also a Pentacles card, and you're an Earth sign, so it's really, really nice. And I love this idea of like connecting with another in order to build upon, in order to continue to build upon that connection. Like I mentioned, like I don't think you're really looking for anything frivolous or anything to, again, it goes back to this idea of romance. Like you're wanting that sort of more romantic, sort of soulful connection. And I feel like this couple is obviously engaging in that. And there's a pot on the stove here, and it's stewing and bubbling. And I feel like that's what's happening, for you, even if you're not with a partner. Like you're really wanting to keep adding to the pot of the layers of intimacy, physical intimacy. You're wanting to deepen it. You're wanting it to stew for a while, to gain density. That's kind of what you're working towards. Okay, and with the Chariot under the deck too, it's like this idea of forward momentum, moving forward. But in order to move forward, you have to let go of things. But let's look at this release card first. What is this about for Taurus? It may be that you're about to start moving forward after a period of being alone as well. For those of you who are single, which is nice to see if that's what you're desiring. Like the wheel pushing forward, the single person, and releasing singlehood and going into coupledom. What's this release card about? Okay. Two of Summer, the Magician. Okay. So for Taurus, yeah, This is what, okay, I'm going to read it 2 different ways because it's coming in 2 different ways. On the one way, like I just mentioned, you've been single. The universe is saying, okay, this person's been single long enough. They're getting really centered in who they are. Let's let go and move forward, right? So in this case, what it's about is a connection with someone, right? You're releasing singlehood, going into being a couple, and that sets you on a whole new path. For some of you, it's about this idea of letting go of the connection and starting out again solo. So it can be interpreted both ways, and it's a general reading, so I have to kind of be, brush with the broadest stroke here as I'm called to do so. And then we have this 10 of Winter under the deck, which is, again, the ending of a cycle. As I've already mentioned, 2 10s, lasting gains or lasting losses. Like, you are very much in this place of tipping into new energy here with the wheel, with the release, with the 10 of Winter. The endings of a bad situation, leaving addictions and codependencies behind, going towards something much happier here. I mean, even though we don't have any aces, we have the 2, we have the Magician. So you're starting on something new, kind of going towards the end of this time period, Taurus, which I really, really like to see. Again, for many of you, it will be that you're leaving either a relationship behind or that you are leaving being single behind. But either way, you're feeling kind of really more centered on who you are, what you like to do. You are treating yourself more lovingly. And that doesn't mean that you are being selfish, self-love, self-care, speaking to yourself kindly, putting yourself in situations where you feel honored as opposed to putting yourself in situations where you feel dishonored. Those are all forms of self-care, of self-love. And the more that we are self-loving, the more that we show others how to love us, Taurus. And that's what I feel like you're doing during this time period in a lot of different ways. We also have the Trust card under the deck. The situation is calling for you to have faith. So if you have been single, or even if you are kind of have been sort of leaving something behind, don't worry, it's happening in the exact way that it's meant to. We also have this reconciliation card under the deck. Someone from your past may be returning to your life. So there's a possibility of that for some of you. And for some of you, this is just to make sure that no old patterns of behavior or actions, thoughts are coming back in to kind of take you off your path, keep you away from being self-loving and generating more and more ways to provide self-care for yourself. Wow. We also have, this could be the romantic partner you seek. This could be the one, you've already met the romantic partner you seek. So it could be that someone from your past is returning and that person is the one. And you just have to have faith and trust that it's happening as it's meant to happen. So it could be, you're no longer single and this person's starting to come back in, or either energetically or physically. And it could also be that maybe you're leaving another relationship behind and going towards a new one. Either way, you're starting a new journey because you're letting go of something to do with this connection. You're letting go, Taurus, of either an old romantic partnership, or you're letting go of being single back in here, and you're going towards a romantic partnership. Regardless of how it manifests, this is the outcome. You, very much in your power, everything in your tool belt to be successful in love. Feeling very empowered. It's really, really lovely energy for you. Okay, so I think what I want to do, Taurus, that's pretty much your reading. I think I'm going to get one more card for you. I'm going to get it from the, I feel like I want to get it from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins, just because of this children and playfulness energy. I just feel like it's a nice energy for you. And you're so grounded in that earthy energy. It's kind of fun to interject a little bit of sort of watery, emotional, playful energy here. So let me do that for you, Taurus. And I'm going to close out your reading. It's for Taurus. What are the messages? Taurus. Positive energy. Oh, such a pretty card. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. This is exactly what I was talking about when I mentioned self-care. putting yourself in situations where you feel honored, right? Even if that means staying home and honoring yourself as opposed to going out to a party where you're going to feel maybe dishonored, or on a date where you can already tell that, it's not really someone who honors you and honors your energy and is kind and gentle and precious with your feelings and who you are as a person, So it's about that kind of same type of energy here, positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. So whatever that means to you. Maybe it's the reverse. Maybe it's about going to a party where you feel honored and not as opposed to staying home where you might feel depressed. It depends on whether you're more extroverted or introverted and, of course, where you are in the moment. But take it, for yourself and apply this idea of, is this a self-loving thing to do? Is this a self-loving action to take? Do I feel honored? Am I honoring myself when I say these words, when I take this action, when I think these thoughts, that kind of thing?